because nobody helped me hold my balance sheet, my income statement, my habits up to the light and give not only my financial statement an x-ray and be transparent, but be transparent and truthful with myself. I learned these X's and O's and the rules that govern capitalism because I knew that somebody was beating me to the punch and trying to put their X over my circle of success, and I was losing financially. Who in the world invented X? Somebody that definitely wanted to give me a hard time. So how about this? How about you run the play like they do in football with X's and O's? See, the problem with most people when it comes to their mind and their money is they don't have a game plan. And if you want to win the Super Bowl, the first thing you need to do is get your X's and O's together. Just like a game of tic-tac-toe, you got an opponent, you have a loser, and you got a proponent, which is you, and you're going to have a winner. And the name of the game in capitalism is for you to win the game of X's and O's. But what you got to do is first, you got to decide and determine what move you're going to make. And not only that, you got to know and determine the counter move that those of you who are trying to keep you from getting money, what they're going to do. So if you're trying to get 3 X's in a row, which means you've actually won the game in tic-tac-toe, while your opponent is getting 3 O's in a row, which means they're trying to win the game of tic-tac-toe, then you have to outsmart them. You have to beat capitalism at its own game. And the only way to do that is for you to play by the rules that govern it. All right, that ain't bad. That wasn't bad. And just so y'all know, somebody threw that up in the chat, so I had to use it because I'm the Jay-Z of training. I got another one for you. I don't know how to play no xylophone. How about this? We need to learn how to 10x our finances. Whatever it takes, I need you to 3x, I need you to 5x, or I need you to 10x your finances. How? I learned this a long time ago from a very, very wealthy man. You need to put your money on top of inflation, on top of something that inflation is pushing. That's how you X, 3x, 5x, or 10x your money. So what is inflation actually pushing? Well, inflation is the value of the dollar going down. That's bad for people who are not business owners. The value of the dollar drops if you don't have something to outpace what business owners are increasing on a daily basis, which is their prices. So the only way to outpace inflation, 2 things outpace it. Real estate outpaces inflation, and a home-based business or businesses outpace inflation because you can 10x your salary whenever you feel like it. You can 3x your commission whenever you feel like it. You can 5x your revenue whenever you feel like it. So if business owners are constantly increasing the cost of goods and services, you got to be able to 3x, 5x, and 10x the effort you put in to increase your revenues, your income, and your profits. 9 times out of 10, your income is not something that you can just increase with a decision. You got to ask somebody, can I have a pay raise? You got to work some extra hours to get an increase. But a business allows you to 3x every area of your life, including your time, which is more valuable than your money. So what does it take for you to 3x your income? What does it take for you to 5x your revenue? Easy. Whatever you're doing now that's not growing exponentially, you need to figure out what the X factor is as far as why your money's not growing and put your money on top of something that everybody is pushing up. See, real estate works on both sides of the balance sheet. That's why it's such a beautiful thing. Real estate is actually the X factor in your portfolio. Now, those who don't know, by now, I was blessed enough to purchase 20 acres of land last year. I've actually developed it, and I affectionately call it Beane Acres. It's 20 acres of land. That's where I actually shoot my Instincts PONDCast. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for leaving a review. Thank you guys so much for downloading the episodes from the Instincts PONDCast. It's actually shot at Beane Acres. And if nothing else, I figured out this year, real estate is definitely an X factor when it comes to your finances. Why? Well, think about it. It's on both sides of the balance sheet. So where I need to take a loss so I can 10x my gains when it comes to taxes, so I can 10x the amount I save in taxes, On my balance sheet, I'm showing all these different, on my income statement, I'm showing all these different losses because I had to develop Beane Acres. I learned big time. Real estate is a huge X factor in your portfolio if you don't own something. So I can say, okay, I had to renovate the bathroom. Subtract from my bottom line on my taxable income. I had to cut in the four-wheeler trails where I take people on tours. Subtract, I had to pay contractors. Subtract, I had to cut out a wall because I had my meetings. That's now my office, but I needed some more office space. Subtract, so what I did was I actually decreased how much I give the government, and I 3X, 5X, and 10X the amount of money I keep in my pocket because real estate is the X factor that I didn't have in my portfolio. All right, I'm getting warmed up. X will not shake me. Real estate is definitely an X factor. It will give you an extra large, okay? It'll give you a double XL when it comes to your net worth. Why? Because you can write off the things that you don't like, but it can also generate cash flow on that same balance sheet with that same asset. See, now that people are renting out Beane Acres, they rent out the front yard for the movie theater and the screens and watch night. They rent out the backyard for the fishing and the paddle boats and the tent and the open field. So now the yard has become an asset. It's increasing my cash flow 3, 4, and 5X. So when I need to show income, I can use the property. And when I need to show a loss, I can use the same property. Why isn't real estate part of your portfolio? A lot of y'all haven't figured out yet. It's the X factor. It's the X factor. Certain parts of your investment property, you can depreciate. It's the X factor. Wealthy people call it phantom money. Phantom money is the money that you can't see, but on paper, it created positive cash flow for you because you gave less to the government. It's the X factor. I'm warming up. So what y'all need to do is become a carbon copy of wealthy people. That's why it's also known as a Xerox. Come on, man. Y'all sitting around here think X gonna mess me up? Get your Xerox on. Nah, Xerox don't start with a Z for y'all that don't understand where I'm going. All right, Xerox don't start with no Z. You gotta copy the right cats. And for too long, we've been following the playbook and the X's and O's of people that are broke. For too long, we've been playing tic-tac-toe and putting our X's and O's in the wrong slots. That's why you lose in the game. The enemy has known for far too long that his move, the government's move, not that the government's the enemy, but taxes are the enemy, and debt will destroy your wealth. It's the enemy of your success. And as my mentor says, it's the pathway to poverty. So the enemy knows if we catch them early and give them a couple of credit cards, we can put an X and block the circle of success that they're trying to create. If we catch them early enough and get them in a bunch of consumer debt, we can put an X in that slot and block the circle of success that they're trying to create. You've been playing the wrong game with the wrong letters and numbers for far too long because nobody taught you the X's and O's of finances. And you have no excuse after these ABCs. I had to just throw that in because whenever I can, I'm going to cheat and just see if you're paying attention. I mean, we know it starts with an E, but let's examine the situation here. How many letters of the alphabet actually begin with the letter X? So if I can, I'm going to slide it in and just make an excuse to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. But let's be honest, I'm also killing these X's and O's. Xerox the people that you want to be like. And you need to X the people who are doing you a disservice by giving you the wrong financial advice. And last but not least, I can't forget the obvious, man, but I didn't want to start with the obvious. Let's examine, no, I'm just kidding. Let's take our financial portfolio, hold it up to the light, and do an X-ray. See, a X-ray is transparent for a reason. Only you know your real situation. Like, let's stop faking and flossing and fronting, as I said on a previous letter. Let's hold up our finances to the light and take a real look at where we may be overspending. Let's just hold up an X-ray. Let's hold up our finances. Let's hold up our balance sheet to the light and say, you know what? I got way too much debt. And if I got my money back from the government, because they got me in debt, they should get me out of debt. So why don't I not get this tax refund? Start a home-based business like these guys are talking about. Get my money up front. And as I re-examine my finances and hold it up to the light and see my X-ray and be real transparent, I got way more debt than I should have. Let me hold my light up, my finances up to the light and get an X-ray real quick so I can see that, you know what, the truth is I eat out a whole lot. And if I ate a lot more at home, I might save $100 extra per week. That's $400 extra per month. And the future value of money, also known as lost opportunity cost, says that's $4,800 a year. And had I been investing $4,800 a year for the past 10 years, I would have $48,000 at an interest rate of 8%. So yeah, if I re-examine my finances and hold my X-ray up to the light, I can see that I'm really costing myself a lot of money by spending money in places that I have no business spending them in. I'm not saying be frugal. I'm not saying don't go out and eat. I'm not saying I don't go out to eat. I'm not saying don't have a good time. But I'm saying I make sure I examine my finances. And I'm using examine for, alliteration. But I'm looking at my X-ray and I'm being transparent. And some of you guys are afraid to look at your own numbers. And you're going to find yourself in exile. I know, EX, but just stay with me. All right, so let's do that, man. Let's have Xerox copies of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the right cats. You're looking at a guy who lost $1 million in his 20s because nobody helped me hold my balance sheet, my income statement, my habits up to the light and give not only my financial statement an X-ray and be transparent, but be transparent and truthful with myself. I learned these X's and O's and the rules that govern capitalism because I knew that somebody was beating me to the punch and trying to put their X over my circle of success, and I was losing financially. And last but not least, just by getting through these X's, because it ain't a whole bunch of letters that start with the letter X, I'm gonna go find me a xylophone, because I don't care what y'all say, I played this game tonight. Now you see if you can do a better job with the letter X, and thank God tomorrow is Y.